Today's the 4th anniversary of the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. It was on the 11th of March 2020 that we held our first memorial remembrance service, and it's become an annual event to reflect on the sacrifices of health and social care staff. It's also an opportunity to reflect on the impact of the pandemic on everyone. So we're going to hear from the choir. We've got some reflections from two religious traditions. We have two chaplains here, one from the Roman Catholic tradition, one from the pagan tradition. And we're going to hear a poem written by Katie Fox that was first used at the NHS Pandemic Memorial Service in 2022. So let's hear first of all from the choir, who are going to sing Amazing Grace.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. God's grace has brought me safe thus far, and He will lead me home. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saves a wretch. How sweet the sound that saves a wretch like me. As once was lost, but now I'm free. Was blind, was lost, I see. Was blind, but now I see.
As Chris said, we first held this service back on the 11th of March 2021, which was the first anniversary of the World Health Organization declaring the global pandemic. And it was also the first day that Great Western saw its first patient with COVID-19. We said we'd mark this anniversary every year, and we've continued to do just that. But this service has now evolved into something where we can reflect on things more broadly than just COVID-19. Whilst in so many ways the world has moved on from the pandemic and the unprecedented restrictions that it placed on our lives, it's still important that we remember what was lost during that time. At this trust, we lost 3 doctors who died of COVID-19, Dr. Edmund Adedeji, Dr. Thang Taik and Dr. Irfan Halim. And our thoughts remain with their families, their friends and their colleagues. You'll hear the word hope a lot during today's service, and I think that's very fitting. At times during the pandemic, it felt that hope was all we had to put our faith in, and those things which would help us collectively manoeuvre our way through what were very uncharted waters for all of us. We put our hope and faith in science and research to find a vaccine and roll it out, and this hospital was of course one of the first places in the world to administer the COVID-19 vaccine down in the Commonhead on the 9th of December 2020. More recently, we've seen benefits of research studies helping to increase our understanding of particular conditions and deliver ever better treatments for our patients. We put our hope and faith in good medical and nursing care to look after those who are sick, and while we've had many challenges, our staff continue to work extremely hard to deliver the very best care possible to each and every patient that we see in the hospital and in our community. And we also put our hope and faith in each other to act as pillars of support to each other during these turbulent times. Today we also remember those we've lost this year, including Marlene Masona, one of our internationally educated nurses who worked with us since early in 2020 on Dorcan and Kingfisher wards. Marlene sadly had long-standing health problems and later died in hospital in Oxford earlier this year. Sadly, we've lost a number of colleagues over the last year, and our thoughts today are with them and those whose lives they've touched, their family members, their friends and their colleagues. Please take a few moments today, if you can, to reflect and remember these people. Please also take the time to look forward and do so with a sense of hope and pride in what we've achieved here together. Thank you for coming today, and thank you for everything that you do for our trust. Whatever your role here is at GWH, you make a huge contribution to look after the people of Swindon and Wiltshire. So thank you.
Most pagans believe in some form of reincarnation, viewing death as a transition between a continuing process of existence where we cross the rainbow bridge to the summer lands, to be with our ancestors and prepare for reincarnation at some future date. We will gather to tell stories and celebrate the person's life. We believe that while they are spoken about, they are not forgotten and live on. So shout their names, lay a table for them at your table. Blessed fallen, mighty dead, sacred fallen in death's head, blood that spilled beyond this place, I honour you within this space. Your life as gift to those that live. My thanks, my blessings to you I give. Blessed fallen, almighty dead, honoured is the life you led.
The centre of today is an act of remembrance, and we're going to pause for a minute's silence. It's our experience that some people come into our lives and then quickly and shockingly they go. Some stay a while and leave their footprints in our hearts, and life is different after we've known them. So we're going to pause for a minute of silent reflection to remember in our own way those who have died. Memory to memory, story to story, the wheel turns ever, and what came out of the earth returns in peace. The choir are going to sing a song, a light of hope, a song of peace.
A single
Humility of heart. This is the foundation of all other principles because it requires us to move from self-pity towards focus on God. It requires vulnerability, allowing God to tear down our emotional barricades, being transparent to others. Abandonment to divine providence builds upon the first principle because our hearts need to be receptive by way of humility. Pride closes and hardens our hearts. A person who is ready to enter into this principle has a heart and mind that is open, ready, and willing to hand over his or her wants and needs into God's hands without needless worry or concern. Holy indifference. We surrender our needs, cares, and concerns without expecting a specific outcome to our prayer. It is the third principle because one must have begun the journey into humility and abandonment before the ability to be content with a yes or a no or not yet answer from God to our prayers. Confidence in God's timing. Thank God ahead of time for whatever he sees is best for you. Courage is half the battle. Confidence in God is the soul of prayer. Foster the latter and you will have both. When we thank God for our pain and sorrow, as well as our joys and celebrations, we make everything a holy gift that he in turn moulds into a facet of healing, strength and peace for us. The wound of the heart. When we pray without expectation of a certain outcome, and when we thank God for all he is doing and will be doing in our lives, then we will accept that our pain may not be taken away from us. Instead, it may be transformed into love. Ultimately, grief can lead us to greater compassion and empathy for the suffering of others. We become more attuned to the burdens that others carry, and we, in turn, accompany them in an authentic and genuinely loving way. Suffering and loss do not define us. They teach us how to love in a deeper and more meaningful way.
The losses came thick and fast, death by 1,000 tiny cuts. Or if by not this, then by the relentless sorrow manifest in the lives of our friends. Life-changing accidents, sudden death leaving families reeling in its wake. IVF again. Cancer again. Addiction again. The odds stacking up against us, seared as we were by separation. Losses, amongst such that they have defined us completely. Save, in the end, they did not, they could not. For silently, out of a banished corner, crawls kindness, on her knees, inching forward into the light and in her shadow, holding tightly onto her hand, for safety emerges, a tiny but fierce creature we recognise as hope.
So I want to thank everyone who's taken part in this moment of reflection on loss, and thanks for the ongoing sacrifices of Great Western staff in our hospital and community. Our thoughts today continue to be with all of those who are tragically facing sacrifice and loss. We hope we've captured and honoured the breadth and depth of the multiple loss of our Great Western and community staff as you serve our community and seek to keep us all safe. We know that many of you continue to be busier than ever, caring for us all with an inevitable backlog of people needing help. We know how you continue to put your patience before yourselves, keeping on despite the exhaustion you may feel. We come together today in solidarity, love and support, with a commitment that we will never forget the sacrifices that have been made by colleagues and the ongoing sacrifices that you make every day. We will never forget, and we will be forever grateful